morning, Ridgewood. We are joined today by a very special guest, Mrs. Fleming. Mrs. Fleming, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well today. Thank you. How are you guys?
I'm good. It's great to see you. And we hope everything is going well, and we're excited that you can join us today.
Thank you for asking. That was really great. Great to hear from you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So first, tell us how you've been feeling, and how you've been doing through all this the last few months.
Hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty good. Doing the doctor visits, things like that, but I'm all right. Staying in most of the time. I have to be super careful, of course, with being having my immune system compromised, but I'm definitely being very careful. Really not going out much at all. Went out a little bit. We had a little foster dog that we had for a few weeks, and he loved to walk, so I was out there with him a lot. But now he has a forever mom. So I'm back in the house.
If you wouldn't mind, maybe just I was fortunate enough to be able to see you at one of the basketball games this winter, and it was great to run into you. If you maybe just wouldn't mind just updating us a little bit about, just how things are going with your health in general, and just how you're feeling overall.
Okay. Well, I have had a year of different chemos. Had a little bit of good results with them, but not too much. So right now, waiting to hear about a trial, and there's a little bit of back and forth between different doctors, and I think now we finally have things straightened out. So I should be able to get on that. And I've talked to a couple of different doctors who sounded fairly hopeful, so that made me feel good. But I've been very fortunate in that even though the last chemo didn't work very well and I lost my hair again, other than that, the side effects were minimal. So I have really been feeling physically better in these last few months, which, it's, when you feel like you can't get out of bed, that's just it for the day. But when you feel like you can get up and do something, it makes every day, a little bit of something positive coming out of every day.
Well, you look great today, Mrs. Fleming.
Oh,
good to see you. One of the coolest moments for me over the last few years was last September, or 2 Septembers ago, or last September, when you were awarded the Ashby Award. Can you tell a little bit about that day to us, and what it meant to you, and just your memory from that moment?
Wow. That's my first response. I should have realized my husband had something up his sleeve when he said, I know how badly you've been feeling, and you'll feel better if you go and see your friends, like, feeling like things are a little bit normal with the first day of school and all that. And I fell for it. And so, I remember my first convocation, and I remember the man that won the Ashby that year, a wonderful physics teacher named Joe Hughes. And no, I don't expect anybody to remember, but I was just in awe of this man and of every teacher and administrator that has been recognized by the Ashby Award. I fight back the tears every time I think of it. And to be there with everybody being so warm and welcoming, and it was the most amazing thing to be recognized by my peers for putting so much of my heart and soul into this job. And you guys know how that is. It's just, you really, you give yourself to it and to these students, and always wanting the best for them, and always wanting them to give you their best, and finding different ways to try to make that happen.
Absolutely. And it was an awesome moment for me personally to see you up there. And I was so excited, and so well deserved by
Thank
you. And, you know, it really was great to just be a part of that moment, to be able to watch you go up there. And I was super excited to see you, and just be able to stand there and applaud. It's not too often that we get those accolades where someone will stand up and applaud for you. And
yeah. That was something, yeah.
But it was, you know, I wanted to second that for Mr. Bailey. It was really exciting to see, and really well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I wonder if, you know, for those that don't know, you are also an RHS grad.
Yes, I am.
And, you know, I didn't know if you might speak to, you know, some of how you came from going through RHS to coming back to RHS as an educator.
Wow. It's to go through the Ridgewood schools is a wonderful experience. I remember all of my teachers, and wanting to be a teacher from a very early age, and getting a chalkboard with colored chalk to make pictures, and, you know, sit with my sister and start to read, because she was a few years younger than I, so we would read together, and I just knew that this is what I wanted to do, and had a couple of wonderful history teachers along the way. Charlene Dixon, you might remember, and the others probably not, but they were all wonderful people, and showed me, you know, what's expected of Ridgewood teachers. And, you know, it's a very high bar that we have to meet. And I love that challenge. So yeah, I've graduated, and I have proof. I have the diploma, and I have a picture of me in the white gown and with the red roses. It was wonderful. Wonderful. We've had a few reunions, and have stayed in touch with quite a few of my friends from high school, and, you know, have made some new friends, people that I wasn't friends with in high school, and we are now. And that's really neat. I've had some of their kids in class, because quite a few have come back to Ridgewood. And when I first started in college, and told my professors that I wanted to teach history, it was the late 70s, and they said, "You'll never get a job," because that's how things were going in those days. And I said, "But that's what I want to do." So I did. And in some ways they were right. There wasn't a whole lot when I first came out, but I started subbing in Ridgewood, and I had a great cooperating teacher in college when I did my student teaching, and she's been in Ridgewood. Jean Solomon was I don't know if you know, she's interim principal over at GW for a while, and she's wonderful. She was just a fabulous role model for me, and then found my way into the high school as a sabbatical leave replacement, and things worked out from there. So it's been a wonderful more than 37 years teaching Ridgewood High School. I started in February of 1983. So
That's amazing.
And it's a wonderful journey ever since.
Well, you are such a important part to our building. You know, I've been at the high school for 10 years now, and we miss you dearly because you're not only a great teacher, but just the energy you bring and the friendliness and the kindness and the type of person you are. For the kids to look up to that, I'm sure you've inspired future kids to become teachers down the road, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, I know you have. Can you talk a little bit more in depth about your family? And I know you have a son who's in the military, sure. And your husband, and just a little bit more about that.
Sure. My husband, who was wonderful in stepping into my classroom last year when I had to go on medical leave. He did a great job with my seniors and freshmen. I know he really enjoyed it. He is now teaching over at Ramapo High School. And yeah, I know, and there's a little rivalry there, you know. But he's doing very well. And my son has finished his 3.5 years in the Army, and he spent, other than basic training, he spent all of his time over in Germany. I was happy about that. And so it's nice he got to see a little bit of Europe. He kind of said he's seen enough of it. He's happy to be home, back in the States, and he's working. I think he'll be starting school. I think it's September that he's talking about. I'm not sure if it's the summer and now everything, of course, nobody knows how things are going to go. But I think in college, it's a little easier to do online courses than, you know, in the elementary, certainly elementary or high school. But they're all doing really well. Thank you.
Excellent. That's awesome to hear. You know, especially for your son, you know, thank him for his service for us. You know, it's great to hear that he's back home and doing well.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, real quick, being an RHS grad, do you have a quick bit of advice that you might give, you know, the RHS students now, or even especially the RHS graduates as we get close to the end of 2020?
In general, or these days particular?
Well, in general.
Go for it. Go for it. Whatever you think that you want to do, don't sell yourself short. Don't tell yourself that you can't do something because you think maybe you don't have the right training, or you're not smart enough. You know, yeah, you're smart enough. You're good enough, right? And you know, the only limits that there really are the ones that we place on ourselves. And I hope that you Ridgewood graduates, and I wish so much that I could be there with you with this graduation. I had a lot of these kids as freshmen, and I, you know, just really feel connected with this class. And for, you know, all the graduates, you know, follow your heart, as so many people say. Keep those dreams open. So many good things will happen. Be open to good things happening. And they will. Good things really do happen. Whether, you know, sometimes you wait for them, sometimes you go out and make it happen. But there's so many good people in the world, and look for those good people and be one of those good people. And like I said, you'll find something wonderful in every single day.
I love it. Thank you.
Fun. Typically we do like a rapid fire round, but I don't know about you, Mr. Fabish, but that was so powerful and positive and uplifting. I think we should end it there. That message was incredible. So you're still teaching, Mrs. Fleming. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
I love you guys. I miss you all.
Yeah, we miss you too.
Thanks. Yeah. I hope we'll see you soon.
We'll see you very soon.
Yeah.